Influence has not been about the loudest voice. It's about being the clearest voice, the most consistent voice, the most human voice. And you don't need a giant platform to make an impact. These people I've interviewed, they're not looking for millions of followers. Your story is your superpower. And every guest I interviewed, I asked them about their story, and they carried the story that shaped their influence. Tim Petrie said, "My entire journey has been about integrity. Leadership," he said, "he's doing the right thing even when nobody will ever know." A recovering attorney turned accounting influencer said, "The most disarming leadership move is honesty." His quote was, "Not knowing the answer is a really good way to build trust." So this second theme, influence grows when you share your journey, and you're talking about what's real. Theme 3 was that leadership is human before it's technical. Technical excellence matters, obviously it's a given, it's table stakes, but people follow people, not job titles. People trust personal brands more than they trust corporate brands. Influence doesn't start with visibility, that's part of it. It's no longer about you, others. Mac Lillard showed how steady leadership builds trust. He said, "You influence people by staying calm when things get complicated." Hi there, I'm Matt Brown, and this is the Leaders of the Ledger podcast. This is a season-ending episode, and I want to start with some gratitude. It's been a privilege to interview some of the most influential people that are up and coming in this accounting profession. So big thank you to CPA Practice Advisor for creating the 40 under 40 list that has inspired the entire series. That list is a launchpad for rising accounting leaders and a clear sign of the future of the profession. Thanks also to RightWorks for supporting the show and for backing the next generation of voices that really want to make this profession better. And thanks to everyone for listening. Firm owners, practitioners, educators, innovators, people who care about where the accounting profession is headed and want to stake in shaping that. I've done 14 episodes in this first season, and I've spoke with emerging leaders who are shaking up the landscape all in their own way. Different styles, different backgrounds, a shared desire to do important work and push the profession forward. And today, in this wrap-up episode, I want to bring those conversations together and share some of the themes that kept surfacing, some quotes from some of these great people, themes about influence, leadership, voice, personal agency, and influence in a profession that needs all of these things. So, theme number 1, influence begins with service. This came through again and again with the people that I interviewed. That influence doesn't start with visibility, that's part of it, but it starts with service. Anna Arazo, you can check out her interview in this series. She said it with clarity. She said, "You reach a point where it's no longer about you, you are there to lift others up." Mac Lillard showed how steady leadership builds trust. He said, "You influence people by staying calm when things get complicated." And goodness, we're in a complicated world, aren't we? Rachel Farris said, "Curiosity is the real driver of progress. Ask better questions than everyone around you," she said. And Tim O'Neill reminded us all that leadership is growth in action. He said, "I'm always looking to better myself. I'm always looking to better others." So influence begins with service. That's theme number 1. When you make others better, when you serve others, your voice gets stronger. Theme number 2, your story is your superpower. And every guest I interviewed, I asked them about their story, and they carried the story that shaped their influence. Tim Petrie said, "My entire journey has been about integrity. Leadership," he said, "he's doing the right thing even when nobody will ever know." Lexi Weber had a breakthrough moment that many listeners can relate to. She said, "I stopped waiting for permission, and that changed everything." Zachary Gordon encouraged people to act and not overthink. Zach said, "Make the jump, reach out, go to the event, take the step that you've been avoiding." It was a really strong message on saying yes to things. John Malone highlighted the power of momentum, keeping going. He said, "Just start. You've already got the skill to add value, and you'd be surprised how far your voice carries you." And Matt Tate from Decimal, a recovering attorney turned accounting influencer, said, "The most disarming leadership move is honesty." His quote was, "Not knowing the answer is a really good way to build trust." So this second theme, influence grows when you share your journey, not a polished one, but you're vulnerable and you're talking about what's real. Theme 3 was that leadership is human before it's technical. So yeah, technical excellence matters. Obviously, it's a given. It's table stakes, but people follow people, not job titles. People trust personal brands more than they trust corporate brands. Catherine Houghton offered up one of the most honest reflections of this season that we're in, and she said, "Burnout forced me to stop and actually think about what makes me happy." Taylor Hartman said, influence grows when people feel safe to speak around you. That's influence in very simple terms, isn't it? You make people feel better. Goran Dmitrovic, he reframed the profession with beautiful simplicity. He said, accounting is not only the numbers, it's understanding people and helping them make better decisions. He was the first person I interviewed on this series. Victor Garrido brought pride back into focus. He said, accounting is one of the most noble professions in the world. And we think it is, but he called it. And we need more of those bold voices. So leadership is human. It's emotional intelligence, clarity, connection, and care. And the fourth theme for me was that visibility is responsibility. I speak a lot about this. My book is on Amazon, Build Your Reputation, and I did a TED Talk called The Personal Brand of You. And invisibility is going to harm you. It's going to harm the impact that you can have in the world. And you might be out there thinking that you're doing great things, but doing stuff is not enough. You can't lead from silence. Caleb Jenkins captured it well. He said, your influence grows when you contribute without expecting to get back. So give first, the opportunities follow. Kendall King, very dynamic personality, he encouraged the next generation to act with conviction. He said, understand what your passion is, research how to enter that space, and then go hard in it. Don't be afraid. Matt Tate highlighted the cost of staying quiet. He said, authenticity and honesty build trust far more than pretending to have all the answers. So visibility is not just about the noise too. Yes, it's being vocal and visible, but it's about contribution. You've got to say something meaningful. And when you speak up, the whole profession gets stronger. And the fifth and final theme that I picked out from all of these interviews was that curiosity and adaptability define the future. Everyone I interviewed was an innovator in their own way. Every guest touched on this in their own way. Rachel Farris talked about curiosity as an advantage. Mac Lillard talked about mentorship and measured behavior, being curious about other people. John Malone encouraged professionals to stay teachable. That's adaptable. Matt Tate said, we're in the single biggest transition since the ledger moved off paper, and he called this the best time to be in accounting. So we know the profession is changing fast, and the people that stay curious, adaptable, and visible are the ones who will shape what's coming next. So before we close, I want to honor everyone who shared their voice on the show, for stepping up to the microphone and the camera. Goran Dmitrovic showed the human side of accounting. Caleb Jenkins showed that influence starts with generosity. Catherine Horton reminded us to protect our well-being. You can go on all of these shows on CPA Practice Advisor and check out these interviews. Kendall King reminded younger leaders to go hard at their passion. Mac Lillard modeled calm influence under pressure. Richard Farris showed us how curiosity drives progress. Tim O'Neill highlighted growth and service as leadership attributes. Tim Petrie showed us that integrity happens in the unseen moments. Victor Garrido reminded us that the profession is noble. Zach Gordon encouraged bold steps forward. John Malone proved that starting is half the battle. Lexi Weber showed how visibility begins with one decision. She's a real mover and shaker and is going places. So check out her interview. Taylor Hartman explained psychological safety with clarity. Anna Arazo showed how influence begins and grows through lifting other people. And Matt Tate demonstrated the power of honesty and courage online. So a remarkable group of leaders. Keep looking out for the next cohort of CPA 40 under 40 influencers. Hopefully CPA Practice Advisor are doing another list coming out soon. But these are all great leaders, different stories, shared strengths, all doing it in their own way. And as a final reflection, here's what this season of Leaders of the Ledger taught me. That influence is not being about the loudest voice. It's about being the clearest voice, the most consistent voice, the most human voice. And you don't need a giant platform to make an impact. These people I've interviewed, they're not looking for millions of followers. They just have an intention, they have a courage, they have a willingness to share, to speak out, to support people around them. And this season's given us many examples of what that looks like. And the profession needs more voices like theirs and more voices like yours, because you might be on this list in the future, or you might be doing your own thing and influencing a lot of great people. So keep on doing that. And as we finish this season, thanks again to CPA Practice Advisor and Right Works for supporting this project, for giving me the opportunity to host this show. and championing that emerging talent on the 40 under 40 list. This podcast is going to pause for now as RideWorks and CPA Practice Advisor consider the next chapter, but the conversations continue. The community keeps growing. And if you want to stay connected to the people shaping the profession, join the RideWorks community. There's a lot of creators, educators, leaders on there are all looking to help each other grow. And if you want to meet some of these people live, join the Accounting Voices Collective on LinkedIn. Go and find that page. We have regular virtual speed networking events every couple of months, and we invite all kinds of professionals, innovators, vendors, coaches, consultants, trainers, fractionals, a broad church, people in firms, people owning firms, people in societies and institutes, professional organizations. They all want to share their personal brand, share their message. They want to connect and collaborate and build influence in the profession. So check those out. The next meeting is going to be in December as I record this, and you'll expand your circle and meet the people shaping the next chapter of accounting. So thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting all of these leaders. Thank you for watching the show. And thanks to all of you for the great work you do in this profession. I'm Rob Brown. This is Leaders of the Ledger. Stay curious, stay visible, and keep moving the profession forward.